All right, welcome everyone. This is the Virgin, the cherry busting of the circle. My name is Aubrey Johnson. I'm here with my brother Brad, and we're here to talk about some things. I'm going to let Brad introduce himself.
How's it going, everybody? So, this will be an interesting first little foray into an adventure we've been talking about for a long time here. So, without further ado, let's get into it.
All right. We are here to talk about everything from current events to politics to relationships. I mean, everything's on the table, and we're here live.
To how my beer is currently kind of hot. I'm not happy about that. I'm not gonna lie.
We're here live from 685, and we're going to do this. And what we're going to do is we're going to talk about these things, and we're going to have people from all walks of life, from different economic structures, different political views, and we're going to just have a discussion and try to get to some understandings. That's what we want to do. And we're like middle of the road folks. We don't lean heavily one way or another, but we want you to call in to tell us your views as passionate as you are. Be real. Be what you are. And we're going to discuss it and talk it out, and we're going to love each other at the end. Brad, I'm going to let you go.
Well played, sir. Well played.
One thing I do have to say is that 90% of this is fact, 10% is fiction, and we don't represent anybody but us. So, if it sounds like you were involved in this stuff, you probably were, but we are not.
All the aliases will be used throughout this podcast.
We're gonna protect the innocent.
Oh yeah,
as much as we
100%.
can.
Well, first off, let's talk about that Texas loss, man.
Oh,
that was rough.
I was hoping you weren't going to say anything about that.
I mean, let's just pull the fucking Band-Aid, bro.
My heart is hurting right now because I've lived in Austin most of my life, and this is a really hurting moment. But you know what? I said we're going to power through this, no matter what happened in the Texas game. As ass-hurt as I am about the fouls that may or may not have been called and all that kind of stuff, I'm not going to blame it on this because Texas had a great season.
Well, I consider, and I can blame it on one thing, and that's the lack of Dylan Disu. I mean, without that inside game, honestly, and for their credit, Texas perimeter game was on point tonight till it fucking mattered. I mean, until the very end, they were knocking down the shots. They looked great.
They were on until they weren't.
Yeah.
And that's 100%. The thing. That's the thing. Texas gave a great effort. I love the energy that they gave. I love the spirit. I mean, the coaching. I was not on Terry's team until I saw the passion that the players gave this year.
I feel like they're on Terry's team.
I know.
At this point.
I think they played above and beyond because they loved their coach. He was their focal point, and they wanted to win for him so that he could get the job, and he should get the job.
I agree 100%. I think they need to extend that contract tomorrow morning at this point.
Tomorrow morning.
Tonight.
And like I said, I wasn't on Terry's team. I wanted them to get a big name, but, man, we can.
As an A&M fan, I'll sit here and tell you, a big name does not always fucking matter. It does not. I mean, you look at what Jimbo Fisher's done with A&M.
That's where we're going to go next. Let's talk about that.
It's horrible. I mean, you've got to look at a guy who, I'm not going to fact check it, but I'm pretty sure they're paying him upwards of $7 to $8 million a year right now.
10.
They're paying
flashing the 10.
So now they've given him a raise to $10 million a year. So he's one of the probably top 3 highest paid college coaches in the nation. Wow. And they won 4 games last year. With the number...
They won 5. Let's give it to them. They won 5.
with the number one recruiting class in the nation.
And let's tell our background a little bit. You are
So I was born and raised an Aggie fan. None of my parents, my mom and dad didn't go to A&M, but we were rural folks, so we always rooted for A&M as a kid. And then my sister went there, and I went there. My sister graduated. I never graduated. I had other ambitions when I was in college. Video games and alcohol were a large part of that, but it's all right. So everybody's got a path.
and so if you listen to us long enough, you're gonna get the backstories of all this stuff. My brother is an Aggie. I mean, he may not have the ring, but he is born and tried and true. Now,
they're looking on eBay for one, so I could just pretend.
Now, my story is a little bit different because my dad did go to A&M. He got his doctorate from A&M, and so this is when I was in like 13 and stuff. So I know all the cheers. I was an Aggie, but then he moved to Austin, and now from 12 years old, 13 years old, I became a Longhorn, so I'm torn a lot of the times because my family likes A&M, and I like them too in a deep, dark closet, but I am a Longhorn, tried and true. So that's a little bit of a back history. But we're going to talk about sports. We're going to talk about current events and history, because Brad is brilliant, man, and history is one of his things.
Now.
Come on now. So,
and as Aubrey said, so we're sitting up here at 685 Backyard in Pflugerville, Texas. We're having a couple drinks. It's a Sunday afternoon. We got our buddy Mac. He's apparently either videoing or taking pictures right now. I don't know which one yet, but he's, at least for posterity's sake, recording our maiden voyage,
our maiden
podcast.
So what's the first topic besides Texas losing?
Well, that was tough. I feel it for you, brother. Now, something I've been really interested in lately, and I think we touched on it just a side conversation the other night, is the fact that, so I watched this Facebook video the other night, and like, I listen to Rogan, love Rogan, and he's all about the fucking conspiracy theories and all this bullshit, but this is the first time I've heard this one, is the fact that there's this like video out there on Facebook saying that the lunar landings weren't faked, but they were edited. So it's the first time. There's always like it's an A or B conversation. Either we did land on the moon or we didn't land on the moon. And people say it was 100% a hoax, or people say, well, it was real, and they have all their evidence out there or whatever. But this is a really interesting video, and I wish I would have saved it, but I didn't, because it was real. But pretty much what it was saying is the fact that, so the government didn't know that the lunar landings were going to be successful. And so what they did was they actually did set up a soundstage, and they recorded video of a fake lunar landing. And so what the video says is that the reason people see like the American flag waving on the moon, which shouldn't be possible because there's zero gravity on the moon, yada, 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 all that sort of stuff, is because they spliced in images or edits of this recorded video back home into the actual lunar landing. And they're saying the reason they did that is because there was large chunks of the first and multiple Apollo missions after that where they were seeing aliens and structures on the moon. And that's where it kind of dives way deep into it.
Yes.
But I was just so intrigued by the fact that this video was the first time I ever heard that it was a combination of both theories. And they said they did both. Yes, we did land on the moon, but also they had a backup plan in case something happened. So forget the bullshit about the aliens and the structures and all that. I'm not going to call it nonsense, but because these days, who knows? But what do you think about that as an Air Force man?
Okay, thank you for putting this in there. I am Air Force and I am government, but I don't represent any of that in our conversation right now, right? So don't get my clearance taken away from me or my job. But in working for both places, I do believe that there is an opportunity for deception.
Of course. Yeah.
I think that you probably hit it right on the head there, where there was some backup, because you don't want failure.
Yeah. I mean, it's that at this point in the Apollo program, it's not just like, hey, yeah, fun times, we're going to the moon. It is democracy against communism.
It is all out contest. Yeah. Who's gonna win?
So even if it doesn't go perfectly, you have that backup plan right there. And I feel like, I mean, at the end of the day, I understand completely. But it was, like I said, it was just really cool to me to actually hear that.
That's the first time I've heard that.
Yeah.
And that is, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
That probably...
I mean, it's really funny because that's one of like the biggest moon landing is faked things, is they have that one video shot of the flag blowing in the wind on the moon. It's like,
I don't believe it was faked. I believe that there was probably a backup plan, though. I think
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's conspiracy theory number one.
You want more?
No, I don't.
You don't.
Right now.
You don't want me to go down that rabbit hole, trust me. No.
Not all the way down.
Hey, everybody, this is Brad, and I just wanted to take a moment to tell you how much we appreciate you tuning into the very first episode of The Circle. We sincerely hope you're enjoying the content, and with that being said, I'm going to ask you a favor. We're pretty new to this podcast thing, and any help is greatly appreciated. So please take a moment to leave a comment with any suggestions or ideas you guys have for us. Good or bad, we want to hear all of your feedback. And if you'd like to be a guest, please let us know. No topics are too taboo. We will have a conversation with anybody about anything. So please help us make this thing better. And finally, if you enjoy what we're putting out there, please tap that like button and subscribe to make sure you get first dibs on every new episode. All right, back to it.
Down. Let's go a little bit. So, a little bit of an interesting thing that happened, and we're going to talk about it because it was 685 yesterday, and
oh yeah,
come on, get into that. Let's talk about that.
I mean, I'm not really sure what you want to talk about it. It was so, all right, so just some background story.
Yes.
What Aubrey's talking about here is, so we came up here to 685 yesterday. We were watching a little basketball, having a couple drinks, and we ended up meeting a couple that was from recently moved to the area, their first time to the bar. And so we started talking to them, and we were having a good conversation, and then the wife of the couple got into her political views, and she was very adamant about the direction
very
this country
passionate.
The direction this country is going in, and she never, I don't know if she never mentioned Trump by name. She didn't, but you could tell just by the conversation that they were very much in the.
What you got there?
So my buddy Mike Ackerman over here just handed me his white privilege card. Says that it trumps everything from birth till death.
Well, Mike, you can't
Well
just
played.
step up.
Well played. No, that's fucking awesome.
My name's Mikey Ackerman. And
So
sometimes,
get in there, yeah. there
sometimes you
get
gotta show us some bitch what you all about. So, everybody says I have white privilege, so I figured I need something tangible. So here I go. Here I go again on my own. Like I'm like White Snake. And you notice the snake is white.
So, what is that card? People can't see it.
Okay, so
Yeah,
nobody
we're not
can
doing
see it.
video today.
On the top it says white privilege card. Below that it says Trump's everything. Member since birth, good through death. Card holder, scot-free. So,
And
Yeah.
what does that mean to you?
Did you get that on Amazon?
what does that mean to me? So,
Yeah.
it means to me, what it means to me is I have something tangible. Everything I've been accused of, all this shit I'm accused of all the time. I have something that's tangible in hard plastic. Okay, you hear it? God damn it, there it is. So, recognize.
That was gangster.
That was gangster. Way to drop the mic there. And this is what we're gonna do here. And
Mike, don't forget your
Throw it at him. Throw it at him. So this is
You
what
can't
we're
lose
doing
that
here.
much.
This is kind of
Don't
what
lose that
Let me
much.
get that back.
this is what we wanted to do. We wanted to be real. We wanted to be here. We wanted to get everyone's opinion who's here or who. And at one point, we'll have a call-in part of the show where you can call in. You can give us your ideas or what you think about what we're talking about. And it's going to be all good. Everything's going to be just the vibe of what's going on in the nation or what's going on right here in your backyard. And we want you to be able to tell.
The vibe in
Yeah,
the vibe
Mike's trying to talk again.
Porterville, Texas.
I'm saying this is all about what your everyday regular people think about subjects.
That's what we're going for.
I mean, what are your, MSNBC and Fox News, they all tell you what to think. Here, we tell you how to think. Question everything.
I like that.
Question
I like that.
everything.
Well said, sir.
Form your own opinions, no matter what.
Yeah.
Never let anybody tell you what to think. Let them tell you how to think. Don't let them tell you what to think.
They can tell you
Well
whatever
said.
they
Well
fucking want to, but what we're here to do is get what you think and how you're gonna react. Off
Have
of
the
what's
have the
going-
conversation. Have the conversation for sure.
100.
So, continuing on the story of these rednecks we met yesterday. So, she starts into her bullshit about, like I said, she never mentioned Trump, but it was all about this direction this country is going in, yada yada yada, this and that. And Aubrey and I were both kind of like, and
So, if you don't know, Aubrey's black.
that is pertinent information to know. Yes, Aubrey is an African American man, and I am a very Caucasian, obese white fellow. So there you go. A little, just a little physical information about the two of us. And you can't see us; you just hear us. So, anyways, Aubrey and I were kind of trying to shut her down. Like, look, we're not here to fucking talk about politics. We only talk about politics. We have microphones and headphones on at the bar. And her old man kind of shut her down a little bit, but she kept poking. She kept poking the bear a little bit. And then he got involved a little bit, and he dropped the
Podcast.
he dropped
We're doing
the
a podcast.
the colored moniker, which when he said that, I fucking died laughing so fucking hard because Aubrey's reaction. The guy posed a question to Aubrey. He said, "Well, what should I call you?" As like an African American male, he said. Aubrey just kind of, played it off, and the guy's like, "How about colored?" And Aubrey was like, "That's not it." And I fucking
That
died laughing
it.
so fucking hard. Like, you can call me Aubrey, like anything but colored,
Yeah,
And so, needless to say, he didn't get the joke, and he continued to call Aubrey colored for the next 30 fucking minutes. I'm not even fucking. It was hilariously
Horrific.
wrong.
It was hilariously not hilarious. Not for me. I was dying inside, and I was like,
Poor Aubrey.
I mean, I wanted to just choke him. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Oh, fair enough,
As
100%.
fair as you want to be, my friend.
But we can't do that in America right now. We just can't choke people. But that's what I wanted to do, Brad.
I feel like
Oh, what?
here you could definitely choke a motherfucker and not have too many
I
repercussions.
mean, you might be able to,
Oh, come on.
but as a colored man, I cannot.
So ask your craziest non-colored friend to
So
handle your lightweight.
So it was uncomfortable, and they after a little bit of conversation where they told us how bad our country has been for the last 2 years and all that kind of stuff, and how I was making it worse. I told them that I was.
Why you got to do that shit, man?
I know.
What the fuck?
and then they shut the fuck up, right?
No,
And then they went home.
no.
Yeah.
no.
Or no, we went next door. That's what. Yeah, we
We
just
went
fucking
next
left.
door?
Yeah.
I told them that I was Republican. For
Oh, that blew
years.
her fucking mind.
That blew her mind.
You could see the fucking
think
fireworks
there's-
go off behind her
I
eyes.
think there was a little penny pudding in there, just a little bit.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of penny pudding, but it blew her mind, and then it was all Trump all the time. I mean, not Trump. They never said the name,
But they had the politics to back it up for sure.
and they were free
Yeah.
to say it.
Mhm.
And it was a real freedom that they took advantage of.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, and don't get me wrong, I agreed with maybe 75% of what they were saying. I don't personally like the place our country is in right now. I mean, I feel like, but it's also not. It's not one party's problem or the other party's problem. It's both parties'
This whole
problem.
country has a problem.
It is
This whole country
the
has a
system itself is broken.
Yes.
It's
100%.
not a Republican or a Democratic problem. It's just a full problem of corporate interests and lobbyists have taken over our system at this point. And there's too much money involved in the politics at this point, and the question remains: like, can you even turn it around? I'm not sure we can.
I don't know right now because it's so far left or so far right.
It is,
And it's so focused on those two positions that everybody that understands that it's not do or die.
What's really funny is that you get the far left or the far right from the mainstream media.
Yes.
That is what they're pushing. They're pushing their agenda nonstop. But if you dive deeper and you find some independent journalists, you'll find a lot of center. You will. Like I listened to a podcast called Talking Points,
Okay.
and it's hosted by two people, and they both identify as one is Democrat, one is Republican, and so.
Okay.
Even though they identify as different party affiliates and they have different views, it's hilarious to hear them talk on their podcast about current events, things of that nature, because they agree on so much, and they agree on how fucked up shit is. They really do. Like the stuff at in Ohio, the train derailment, things like that. How the government response to that disaster. The presidential race, how it looks like Trump's going to run away with the fucking Republican nomination again, which is how you let that happen. The dude might get fucking arrested in the next couple weeks.
Well, if the dude was black, he would have already been in jail. I'm just gonna say that.
I'm not saying no. I'm not saying no to that. 100%.
I mean, I've gotten arrested for a lot less.
Yeah,
But
no,
all
it's-
right, go ahead. Go ahead.
It's crazy, and I mean I love it because they dive deep into like the train derailment in Ohio and the response to that, and how FEMA wasn't on site the first. FEMA wasn't on site at all. I mean, and unfortunately, the truth of the matter is Trump was the first person of any note that was there on the ground a week after it happened. He beat And Biden said, because Trump went, Biden wouldn't go. So he's like, I'm not going to go there. Trump's been there. The fucking Secretary of Transportation, 2 weeks after it happened, was just like, well, I could have handled it better, and maybe I'll go pay a visit. You know.
Now, you do understand that Trump's deregulation of the transportation system
Yes.
kind of put
100%. Absolutely.
So, like we're talking about, and I have no dog in the fight, but government is the problem, and we're all asking government to be the answer.
Yeah. Well said. That is well said.
Yeah. I mean, what? And I've heard a lot of very wise people say, if we take things into our own control and control what we have right here, we can solve a lot of the problems. If you're looking for big government to answer these questions and to solve these problems, then we're lost.
Yeah.
Because it all leans one way or the other.
Oh, 100%.
You got to grab a mic, brother. You got to grab the
A lot
mic.
of people go around thinking government.
Right. Grab mic.
Is the problem.
Grab the mic.
Is it on?
Yeah, it's on. It's on.
All right. So, in the words of Ronald Reagan,
And this is
Ronald Reagan always said, and this is Mikey Ackerman.
Mike Ackerman again.
President Reagan said, the worst, like the scariest thing you could ever hear from somebody is, hello, I'm here from the government and I'm here to help.
Yeah.
That's what Reagan said.
That is
That quote-
fucking gold.
That quote is
Conservatism at its finest.
that quote is playing very well these days.
That is fucking gold.
It's,
All right.
it's crazy. It really
All
is.
right. So, I'm sorry. Get closer to the mic, Arbor. I'm sorry. So, thank you, Mike. That was gold. So, my next venture into this is, what do you think about relationships, Brad? What's your view on?
I knew you were gonna fucking.
I
crack me.
know, because I love you, man.
I feel like it's my view is unpopular, honestly, because the past couple weeks I've had many people just look at me in bewilderment when I tell them like kind of where I'm at. So
just some demographics again. So we're doing this podcast. Brad is how old?
I'll be 39 next Wednesday.
He's in his
March
30s.
29th.
Our brother James, that is going to be on the broadcast, is in his 40s.
Yep.
And we can't wait for him to join us. And then I'm in my 50s. So we've got 3 different generational things going on and totally different views on relationships and a lot of other things. But that's why I wanted to bring up relationships, because Brad has a view that is common to today's people. So
I think I probably do fit my millennial
Yeah.
demographic a little bit.
I wasn't going to say my,
Yeah.
but
Oh, I
you knew where
do.
I was going.
You know what? 10 years ago, millennials were the bastard children, and now, honestly, like we're fucking killing it.
Thank you,
Yeah. Gen Z, thank you, Gen Z, for being so much worse than us. Yeah, 100%. But so, I mean, I feel like my view is probably similar to other millennials and younger generation as well. I saw a demographic online the other day. It said 60% of men ages 18 to 29 are single, and they call themselves single. And then the demographic for women of that age was like 20%, which from what the extrapolation they got from that is that during COVID, a lot of younger females were dating younger men, but those younger men might not have had a good job, might have lost their job during COVID, something like that. And so they started dating older men. And the demographic actually matches, because the demographic from like 39 to like 59 went down from single. So they went like, 30% single to like 20% single. And so it kind of, it rings true. But saying that, where I am as a middle-aged millennial is I worked really hard to get where I am career-wise and in my life and my health and everything. And I'm going to turn 40 in a year. And to me, I'm more worried about myself and what I have going on than I'm worried about or could be worried about a significant other. I've done the Captain Save-A-Ho thing. You know this. And I won't say anything negative about any of the women I've had relationships with. They've all been great, and I had love for all of them. I did. But I was also the breadwinner during every one of those relationships, and they can't deny that. And at this point, I'm not going to get into or even fucking tickle the possibility of getting into another one of those. I'm finally in a place in my life where I'm killing it.
I like where you're going.
I'm killing it salary wise. I'm getting healthier. That's a long road. Been drinking a little bit more than I should be these past couple weeks, but that is what it is. I mean, with my new job situation going on, it is what it is. But that's where I'm at. I mean, I'm not holding out for anything. If the one walks in tomorrow, I'll fucking happily jump back into another relationship. But I'm not actively searching at all. I'm not actively searching for another relationship, and I'm not gonna do the one night stand thing because I've dodged the kid bullet for.
I've got my coffee spell.
Okay.
All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. Like I said, I've dodged the kid bullet for a while now, and I'm not gonna take the chance of having a one night stand with some fucking, and I'm not gonna demean anybody, but I'm just trying to play the safe game and worry about myself right now. I got a lot of shit that I still need to work on me, and so that's kind of where I'm living right now.
You gonna ask me the question then?
Well, I think the people probably want to know. Aubrey, where are you on relationships?
The people don't want to know. They don't care. People don't care about where I am. And what I'm doing.
I think you're wrong.
So, I am a young 52 years old and kind of, I'm not married. Is that fair?
Fair enough. Yeah.
All right. So I'm not married. And like we said, we're going to protect the innocent in these conversations. So,
now it's how much does he want to divulge? That's the question.
on episode 1. On episode 1. So I'm not married. So I get a lot of interest. Let's go that way with it. And dating in your 50s is not easy. Because I think we already know the demographics say that women outlive men. And as we get older, there's more women out there than men are. So it gets tougher on women. But I am going to say that dating in your 50s is crazy.
I physically witnessed your dating life. And
No, you have not.
Well, no.
I said we're going to protect the innocent.
Just
Brad,
the
don't
stories.
do that.
The stories.
You've seen some of it. But
Yeah.
So, in dating in your 50s, it's a lot different than I never dated in my 40s or in a little bit in my 30s. But, I mean, the women are a lot more aggressive. Can we say that? That you've
I
seen?
feel like you can definitely say that without repercussion. And I have witnessed that.
Yes. A lot more aggressive. And I can only imagine what it's going to be in their 60s and 70s. For me,
I feel like you're a Bon Jovi song.
I think
Wanted Dead or Alive. Yeah.
I can't wait until I get into the retirement home.
That's a short walk. It's a short walk to
Hey,
Stevie's
watch
room.
it, brother.
Yeah.
I'm not that old. I just dyed my beard. It's all good. It's all good. But I mean, I feel for the female experience in this because we go for different things. I mean, women are. I'm not gonna say women in their 30s and 40s because that's not my experience right now. Because they have careers and they are driven for this and that. I know right now where I am, and it's all about connection and marriage. It's marriage. And I'm like, haven't you been married once or
Yeah.
twice? I know I have, and it didn't work out. And some of it was me. Gonna put that down. But I mean, if you've been married once or twice, why are you pushing for that so hard? And why don't you get to know the person that you're trying to marry now? I mean, it's so much the push for just this connection for the connection so that you'll be peace at the end, that you're not even looking at who you're going to ride the end wave out with.
Do you think that's what it is? Do you think it's a fear that they might end up alone, like the cat lady, as everybody calls it?
I think that's it, brother. I know that when I sit at home and I'm by myself, I get lonely sometimes, and it's a lonely feeling. But I've already done twice. I'm not going to do thrice.
Yeah.
I'm going to make sure that it's a good fit, a good connection.
Yeah. Which takes time.
It takes time. Yes. But they want to get where you're going. Where are we going with this relationship so soon
after the second date.
after the
shit.
second
Yeah.
date, after the second text.
Yeah. You're like, we might be going to like TGI Fridays.
I hope so.
You're lucky. Like,
I like to have a drink and have some laughs. But they're like, "Oh, I'm not going to fuck you, but I want you to commit to me forever." Not forever, but you know what I'm saying. I want to know where we're going. Yes, where we're going. It's the second date.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to fuck you, and I don't know where we're going. That's what dating is, right? Dating is an interview process to see if you get the job to be my girlfriend.
Yeah.
Girl, that sounds so juvenile.
I did four interviews with the job that I currently have recently.
Right.
4 interviews.
But women
Spread out
want
over a month.
four dates. You got to know where you're going.
Oh yeah.
But you did 4 interviews for your job.
Yeah.
And they called you after a week, right?
Mm-hmm.
They said, "I'm going to take a week to make sure you're the right man for this job."
Yeah, I mean, they had to have, I'm sure, I can't speak for them, but I'm sure they sat down and it's a small company, so I'm sure they had internal meetings, talked about me as a candidate. I'm sure they had other candidates, and at the end of the day, they decided on me. But I mean, you can equate that process to the dating process. You 100% can, because it's similar. I mean, what women should be doing is that process, is going on a date and then sitting down and thinking, okay, well, we match here, we don't match here. Am I okay with the fact that he doesn't like cats and I have 7 of them? Well, that's probably a deal breaker. You know?
Should be.
But I feel like we said, that these days women are more interested in just finding somebody. They just want a warm fucking body laying next to them and making sure that they're not that person they see on sitcoms.
And I'm going to say that to my generation. I don't think that holds true to the millennials, because I feel like
millennials are different. We are people used to bag on us pretty hard, but
I'm talking about the women though.
no, I agree, and that's where I'm getting with this. Is that
All right.
people used to bag on us really hard for being lazy and this and that. We were the first internet generation, yada yada yada. But I feel like the women of our generation, of the millennials, are the ones that are busting their ass out there as career driven. I'm not going to sit here and say they're the first generation of career driven women, but I think they are the first generation of women that actually went out and said, I'm going to make myself a career. I'm
No
not
matter
gonna-
what the man.
Yeah, I'm not going to worry about him or I'm going to worry about me first. I'm going to worry about myself and my career and put myself first and get as far as I can. And if somewhere along that experience, I happen to meet somebody and build a family, well, then that's a great prize. But my
Yeah.
first
I'm shaking my head. Yes,
Yeah.
I'm agreeing with you all the
my
way.
first drive is my career. This is my number one priority in life is my career and where I want to be in my career. And I see that in a lot because, and I mean, I'm in construction, and I'm in construction management, and it's crazy to see the amount of women that are coming into the construction industry. I mean, fuck, 10 years ago, it was 99.9% male driven. And now, I mean, it's not a huge bump, but I would say maybe 2 out of every 10, 3 out of every 10 in management and also on job sites as subcontractors and workers. I mean, I see females working as electricians and plumbers and carpenters all the times on my job sites now. It's an interesting shift in the dynamic of the construction industry because, as we're saying, females are more apt now to get out there and find a career that they like. And you know what? Awesome. We need the bodies in construction. We do.
All right.
And so it's cool to see, but that also leads to the current demographics is that you don't have the homemakers anymore. It's not really a thing.
Yeah.
You don't have the stay-at-home moms and their whole entire identity surrounds their house and their kids. That is a fading demographic these days.
All right. All right. Good to know. So, does that mean you're going to say single for the next?
I mean, I don't have plans. I plan on doing my job,
So,
and
I'm going to tell you a little bit about Brad. Brad's got a beautiful voice. He is a singer beyond. I mean, I would drop my panties for Brad when he's singing.
you're a little old for me, brother.
Well, thank you. You're a little young for me too, but I'm just saying. Brad is a catch. He makes good money. He's got everything going for him, but I don't think he believes that there's that love out there for him anymore. I don't know. I'll let him tell that story.
I feel like I'm probably a little jaded
Yeah.
to love and that whole thing. I don't have anything against it, but going through the breakup I had with my last significant other, and then the couple girls that I dated in between there, it was a rough patch for me. And so at this point where I am in my life, I won't ever say no, but I'm not actively looking for it. That is not my priority anymore. I am not spending my days on dating websites and just throwing fucking swipes out there. I am concentrated 100% on myself and my personal life and experiencing things that I always wanted to do, and now I have the opportunity to do.
The millennial way.
Well, I mean, I know, and I've always said, and you can ask anybody, and I've said this from day one when people ask me, why don't you have kids? I mean, why are you like this? Why are you like that? And I said, I'm selfish. I am selfish. And I admit that freely, that I am selfish. I never wanted kids. Even when I was dating, I actively dated women older than me or women that couldn't have kids because I didn't want that. That was never something I ever wanted in my life, was children. And that was me from probably my mid-20s moving on.
I think there's a lot of women out there like that too, because I think that a lot of the millennial women out there don't have kids now.
Yeah.
And they're in their...
Or they might have had kids younger.
No, millennial, I think that that's a difference in what we're getting to. And I'm just going off my experience. I don't know I don't have statistics with that. I have not looked it up, but I know that a lot of the women on the dating sites and stuff like that, they of your demographic,
Yeah.
they some of them don't have kids. A lot of them don't have kids, and I'm like, if we're dating, then ooh.
Yeah.
If you're in your 38, 40 range, then if you're not having kids now, then when?
Yeah.
And that's
Which
what
for
I
women,
present to you.
there's that ticking time bomb. You know, it's.
I mean, for you also, there's a legacy thing going on.
I had a conversation with my mother and father about that, and I don't fit the mold, you know, because I was adopted, and so it's unfortunately I see it differently than the way my parents see it. Because my parents see it as it's the name, it's the legacy. You carry on. I'm the last Reutner male in our line. You know, I'm the only male of my family. I have an older sister. But I see it as I was adopted. So, well, a family is blood. I mean, if you're going to pass on a generation, if you're really going to move the family forward, then it's blood. And I don't have my father's blood.
I don't. I'm going to disagree with you right there.
A lot of people do. A lot of people disagree with me on that.
Because
Yeah.
you still have that legacy that's there. And unlike women, you still have 30 years. If you live 30 years at your last breath, on your deathbed, you can still pass on your legacy.
I feel
brother.
like if I make it to 70, I'll be doing pretty solid.
Hey, like I'm gonna do some wrestling thing. Yo, brother, on your deathbed.
All right,
you can
Macho Man.
So
you know, let me tell you
something, brother. You can still pass on your legacy on your last.
I can't decide if you're a wrestler or like a Southern Baptist
I
preacher
don't-
at this point.
That's both. Thank you. but yes, and that works with me also. As most people know, you don't know on the podcast that I have two lovely young women that I have birthed.
Well, you
Yeah.
fathered, you birthed them.
Well, thank you. You are right. One I caught out of my.
I got you, ladies.
Thank you, Brad. One I caught out of my wife's womb, and the other one was birthed by my wife. I fathered them. I provided the seed.
There you go. That's the.
But then I cultured it and I raised it. Unlike a lot of men, I
yes,
did.
you
that.
did. Yes, you did. And I'll throw some background on Aubrey. So Aubrey was married early 20s, right?
Late 20s, early 30s.
All right. So his first wife was late 20s, early 30s, and had two beautiful daughters.
Yes.
And then his ex-wife ended up, doing some stuff that wasn't really, I don't really know how to explain it. Good. Let's just say that.
We'll go with that.
Yeah,
Good.
we'll just go with that. And so Aubrey ended up fighting for custody of his daughters and ended up with full custody of his daughters. So Aubrey raised his two young daughters and did that all by himself.
And again,
the
I'm black
majority
man.
of their formative years. So
And I'm going to give some credit to my second wife because without her, I don't think I would have made it. But it wouldn't have been possible without my second wife. And again, we're going to keep names out of it for now. You will hear names
once we get permission,
later. Yeah.
and like sign consent form, shit like that.
Yes, but
Mac's gonna sign a consent form real soon.
So I did. I did raise both of my daughters, and it was a rough go of it. But I will say this: that raising two daughters, I know that legacy I'm trying to get from my daughters. One, she doesn't know where she is, identity wise, sexually wise, all those kinds of things. She's still trying to figure all those things out. And that was a big concern when she was coming up, and I don't think she trusted me because I am Southern Baptist. So I think that she thought that I wouldn't accept where she was, but she told me that she wasn't, she didn't know where she was going with that. And I was like, I'll love you no matter what.
Yeah.
And I accept you no matter what. You are my daughter. You're my love. So you do you. You have to live this life.
Yeah.
This is, your life is not mine to live.
All I can do is, or all you can do is just give you pointers, more or less, and give you my experiences and tell you
Exactly.
what I've been through when I was your age.
Exactly. My other daughter, she loves men. She loves.
No question on that one.
No question on that one.
That is a she.
Yeah.
Only one pronoun.
100%. 100%. I don't. I think that
Tread carefully, sir.
I know.
Tread carefully.
I know. I'm trying. I think sooner or later that I will have some grandkids. She's 23 and she's lovely, a beautiful woman, and extraordinarily intelligent. I mean, exceeds all the expectations that I would have. But we'll see what happens with that. I'm not gonna go too far.
I hope they listen to this and they hear you fucking throwing down all the good vibes for your daughters.
Oh.
That'd be good.
I try to tell them all the time, but as a father, it's hard to, you don't know how much if you're doing it right.
Yeah.
Parenting does not have instructions, man.
I don't have a dog in the hunt, man.
I know.
All I can say is how I was raised, and I feel like you raised your daughters kind of like how I was raised, and instilled in them a kind of an idea that responsibility and hard work and ethics and humility are things that are incredibly important. And no matter how good you are at something, never get too big for who you are, and always stay humble and always try to be a good person. I mean, at the end of the day, it's not a hard fucking formula. It's really not.
I think you have wrapped everything up really well. Be a good person.
Yeah, that's.
So, in that, ending thoughts.
I mean, honestly, great first episode. I love it. I mean, talked about some good stuff. Kind of touched on a few of the things we needed to touch on. And looking forward to more, brother.
Oh, I love you, my man.
Smooches.
I can't wait for the next episode. So, in signing off on The Circle, is that what we're going to call
The Circle,
it?
I think that's. How about a little, just before we head out, so a little background on The Circle. So, we all met, myself, Aubrey, and our brother James, my roommate. We all met up here it used to be called Uncle Gary's Bar in Clearville, Texas.
100%.
And so we used to come up here for happy hour, had our brother Mac with us, and we'd start The Circle, which The Circle was, you'd buy shots for the table, and the next person would buy shots for the table, and nobody could leave until The Circle was closed. And so nobody got out without buying their brother a shot.
That's
And
what's up.
so that's kind of the mindset we have behind this podcast is good conversation with our brothers, and anybody else who wants to hop into The Circle is more than welcome to.
That's what's up. That is exactly it. Thank you for that, Brad. That is a great closing.
Aw.
And then we'll sign off.
All
I
right,
am
guys.
Aubrey Johnson.
It was fun. I'm Brad. We'll see you next time.
All right.